Well, good morning. As you can see, we're still united and we're still 34 strong. One of the characteristics of the 2017 session has been openness and transparency. Our goal is to tell the public what we're planning to do and then follow through. Today is a big part of meeting that goal. We're pleased to announce the Senate Republican majority Advancing Minnesota agenda. Advancing Minnesota agenda represents what we stand for as Senate leaders, what we expect to accomplish on behalf of the state and its people. We chose the word advancing because it means moving forward. The agenda we're announcing today is a forward-looking things that we aim to accomplish that will move the state and its people forward. I don't think anyone in the Advancing Minnesota agenda, or I don't think anything in this Advancing Minnesota agenda should surprise any of you. It's what we've been talking about Republicans putting forward. Real tax relief, part of which we've already accomplished, passing the $21 million tax relief in the first tax bill. A transportation funding plan that makes real commitment to roads and bridges without raising a gas tax. Bold education reforms, not just doing the same thing over and over and expecting different results. Healthcare reforms, some of which we've already accomplished and you've seen in the first healthcare bill. A focus on job creation, connecting workers to vacancies, eliminating regulations with a special emphasis on Greater Minnesota, and reining in state government spending. It shouldn't surprise anyone that our budget will be less than the governor's spending plan, which was 10% increase. Today we're laying out a broad agenda. Over the next weeks, the forecast will come out, and you'll see specific proposals from us in all of these areas, or at least some of them, and then we'll roll out all of them. But the end goal is to advance Minnesota. And with that, we have a number of senators that are going to speak on a number of issues, and we'll start with Senator Chamberlain on taxes.
All right, thank you. Good morning. Minnesotans deserve a cash advance. Minnesotans deserve real tax relief. Give you a number, 17 years. It was 17 years ago. That was the last time Minnesotans seen real tax relief through the form of tax cuts. During that 17 years, income taxes, sales taxes, gas taxes, property taxes, tobacco taxes, every tax you can think of has increased. But that discussion has changed. Our plan will advance Minnesota's economy by letting families and businesses keep more of their money they earn with tax relief packages broad and deep that will impact every corner of this state. Those tax reliefs will help drive the economy, the rural economy, the metro economy, and put money in the hands of people who know what to do best with their dollars. There's no other way to lift us up and through these problems we're going to face. Lower taxes put more money into the economy, promote businesses, and promote investment, innovation, and higher productivity so all Minnesotans can take care of their families. So we will look forward, you can look forward to major tax relief pending targets and budget projection. Thank you.
Morning, everyone. I've been asked to speak this morning on transportation, and in your handout you will notice that what we are proposing is advancing Minnesota's transportation system by upgrading roads, highways, bridges, and to be more competitive with Minnesota's economy. And the phrase, "you deserve more time with your family and less time in traffic," I don't know if that could be any truer words spoken. Just like you, I have been stuck in the freeway when it's like a parking lot. And just like you, I've driven on roads in greater Minnesota that are in severe need of more funding. The state of Minnesota spends constitutionally dedicated funds, about $2 billion a year, that is dedicated to fixing our roads, and yet we need more money for it. We met with the governor a couple of days ago, and we had a very cordial, very nice meeting with the governor, and I will tell you that I'm confident that we are going to come forward with a transportation bill that will provide us with the funding that we need in order to fix Minnesota's transportation and transit system. And if we fail to do that, then my fear is what we do is we cast that burden onto our children, and that is completely unfair of us if we fail. So it is my goal in this particular legislative session to advance that commitment. Thank you very much.
Good morning, everyone. Senate Republicans are committed to advancing Minnesota by focusing on job growth and economic opportunities for all Minnesotans. We want to focus on job growth, economic development, workforce development opportunities throughout the state of Minnesota with a strong focus on greater Minnesota. And instead of seeing companies get buried with additional rules and regulations, we want Minnesota companies to be focused on growing their business and growing opportunities for employees and communities throughout the state of Minnesota.
Good morning. As a former teacher and chair of the Education Finance Committee, I'm glad to speak to you today about advancing Minnesota through education. Education is the great equalizer. In a significant sense, it is the racial issue of our day, it's the moral issue of our day, and it's the economic issue of our day. That's why the Senate Education Finance Committee is focused on students and funding what works. Let me just leave one statistic with you that should help shape our thoughts going forward. Students who struggled in grade 3, 88% of high school dropouts are students who struggled to be proficient readers in grade 3. Compare that to 89% of students in poverty who were proficient readers at grade 3 and graduated on time. We will be focusing on early literacy. We'll be focusing on career and tech education. We'll be focusing on dual enrollment. And of course, for those things to work, we need to make sure that students are prepared to learn, ready to learn when they get to kindergarten. Thank you.
Good morning. Not too long ago, Minnesota led the nation in healthcare delivery, costs, and outcomes. But with the passage of Obamacare and its full implementation here in Minnesota, we've lost sight of our leadership. Minnesota Republicans will advance Minnesota's healthcare system by retaining leadership in healthcare, focused on the citizens of Minnesota. We will pass real reforms that pass a cost-benefit analysis test. We will focus on citizens and their needs so that Minnesota can return to our nation-leading position in healthcare access and delivery. Thank you.
Good morning, Mary Kiffmeyer. And so as chair of the State Government Committee, one of the things in advancing Minnesota's agenda is a very important consideration of state government spending. No question about it, for decades, government spending has increased at double or triple the rate of inflation, while at the same time, our taxpayers, our citizens of Minnesota, have not seen that increase. So we have a choice. Do we grow the government checkbook? Do we grow the government spending? Or do we grow our families' checkbooks and make sure that there are funds to go into their checkbook and stimulate the economy? So it is very important that we end the wasteful spending, end unnecessary spending, that we reform, that we prioritize, and go through things very carefully. And I look forward to doing that as chair of the State Government Committee. Thank you.
So as I mentioned earlier, more details will come out after the February forecast, but we wanted to open it up for any questions that you might have.
So what do you think is the first and best thing you can work with the governor on and get him to actually sign something on this sheet?
Well, the first and best thing I would say is what we've already been working on, the healthcare reform. As you know, we passed a bill that he signed that provided immediate relief, and then there were 7 reforms in there. One of the reforms that was not in there that we agreed we'd have to take up in March was reinsurance. And so what reinsurance simply does is stabilize the market so that as we look towards rates for 2018, the plans can plan what they can do and how they'll do it. So that, I think, is the one we're working on right now. So that's my answer.
Did you lose momentum on healthcare? Is there any concern that what didn't get through will be harder to get through later?
I would say, if anything, we're gaining momentum. The fact that we were able to work with the governor, we were able to communicate what was important, we were able to communicate what wasn't quite ready but still needed to be done, all of those things were happening and if anything, momentum is growing.
While there's
Ricardo.
not anything specific yet, I'm curious to hear a little bit more about the plan to grow jobs in rural Minnesota. If anybody had any.
I don't know that we want to lay out any specifics. Some of the bills moving forward, you have begun to see, but at this point, we'd really rather wait for the February forecast. My hope is it is a number that's higher, but we don't know that for sure. I will tell you, I've called a number of community leaders, and some of those being business leaders that do manufacturing and other service-related industries, and many of them have been saying that their orders are up. And that's good news. And so my hope is that that will be reflected in the forecast.
Mr. Leader, this may be one for, or maybe for Senator Newman, the transportation issue. I assume that any plan that you would move forward with would not include a gas tax increase. Would that be a fair assumption?
Yes, I won't even pass it on to Senator Newman, and I'll tell you that would be accurate. So, but we all agree, and Senator Newman agrees, that we want more permanent funding for roads and bridges. We have some ideas. We really want to wait for the forecast before we lay that out. But the fact that Senator Newman's been working with the governor should tell you that communication is happening, which is a key component to actually accomplishing something.
Can you break something free? I mean, your counterparts in the House, last couple of sessions, have advanced a plan, which they said would address the governor's concerns. He hasn't gone along with it. How do you really do things differently this session? Can you give us at least some idea?
Well, we have talked about sales tax on auto parts as being part of that component. We want to be careful about how much we say because the February forecast tells us a lot. We know that we have to address the reinsurance issue, which is more revenue from somewhere. We know that we have to do roads and bridges, which is more revenue from somewhere. And we want significant tax relief, as you heard us talk about. And so what that whole package looks like depends a lot on what we see next week.
Are we going to, since you're waiting for the February forecast, are we talking about a lot of existing dollars being spent on this? In other words, any surplus dollars going to transportation, or is your plan going to go beyond that and talk about permanent funding out even maybe 10 years, I think is the number that the governor decided?
Bill, you're really good, but I'm going to wait till the February forecast.
Senator Kazelka, how about this? The large transportation coalition came
Yeah.
together, no longer has gas tax. And
Right.
The chamber's on board, and the chamber is agreeing that there are billions of dollars worth of needs.
Yeah.
What do you think of the scheme? The one thing that they had a question mark left on was Metro Transit. Can you
So-
fund transit and get a bipartisan package through to the governor?
By transit, if you're talking about buses, you can say, we are very favorable towards that. Senator Newman, do you want to talk, are you free to talk about your conversation with the governor, or is that? I think so. Okay, I just want to make sure that wasn't a more private conversation.
Our conversation with the governor day before yesterday, I do not consider private. There was in attendance various members of the Transportation Committee in the Senate and in the House. And I think that, just to give you the essence of it, it was a conversation that where the governor was inviting us to discuss with him what is going to be coming forward in a transportation project. There were no specifics that were discussed that some of you are looking for. It's simply too early. We have to have those February forecast numbers to be talking about anything specific. But the whole tenor of the meeting between my counterparts in the House and my colleagues in the Senate and the governor and the governor's staff was very collegial and very respectful, and I appreciated the governor's comments, and I am committed to work with him.
Senator, do you think that the governor is open to, do you think that he would be open to moving forward without some sort of a gas tax increase or some derivative thereof? Did you ask him that, or did you get any sort of indication from him?
Senator Gazelka is correct. You are very good. I'm going to duck the question in this manner. If you have a question like that, perhaps it would be better directed to the governor. I would really be hesitant to speak on behalf of the governor.
On taxes, how much of the surplus conceptually do you want directed to tax
Conceptually, you will find out within about 10 days of the February forecast. Yeah, but we want it to be significant. There's a number of things that we're looking at, some ag property tax relief, some business property tax relief. A number of folks are talking about Social Security exemption and something related to student loans. So we'll see what that total package looks like, but we really want to see that forecast. But certainly it will be more generous than what the governor has proposed.
Topping $1 billion?
Very good. You guys are awesome.
How about this, if we can't get numbers, can we talk more about tenor? Because much
Sure.
has been said thus far.
Yeah, and before I,
Yes.
see, we're getting you all excited so that when we meet after the forecast, you'll come back. So yes, tenor.
Tenor, much has been said about your relationship with the governor and performance thus far. Can you say that you're in a better place than, say, Senator Bach, a leader of his own party, was last session?
So I don't want to compare myself to Senator Bach. I can only say that I'm a new majority leader, and so I made a point to develop good communication and relationship with the governor, as with the speaker, as frankly with Senator Bach. And Governor Dayton and I think we listen to each other, which I think is an important part. And so far, I think I would say that the relationship is being built on trust. That doesn't mean we agree on everything, but it means that when he says something, I work with that. And what I say to him, he works with as what we're actually trying to do. And because of that, we can navigate through some of the more thorny issues that we have to get through. And so I would say, without comparing it, I would just say my relationship with the governor is very good.
Question, I think probably for Senator Nelson. Phrase in this bullet point here, it's time to try something new and something bold. Are we talking about more choice options, Senator, or can you maybe just give us a feel for that?
Well, I think choice is always good, but we also need to know that 95% of our students go to public schools. So it's incumbent on all of us to make sure that our public schools are strong and that we also offer choice options.
What would your caucus's stance generally be on the governor's proposal to try to expand pre-K programs? Are you inclined to go that way, or less of a number than he has proposed, or more of a number?
Well, I can't speak for the entire caucus, as we haven't totally caucused this issue. I can speak for myself. I believe that certainly early education is critical. We know that students have to be prepared and ready to learn when they get to kindergarten and then become those proficient third grade readers. I personally differ with the governor in his approach. I share his end goal. I believe we always have limited resources, and so I prefer a more targeted method of targeting those resources to those who otherwise would not be able to get a high-quality education. Well, we have to wait till the budget forecast comes out for that, but yes, I would love to do that. Yes.
Anything else? Well, we're good to be good.
When will Sunday sales be?
Sunday sales, I cannot believe that you brought that up. So you know that it's passed through the committees in the Senate, and so it could be as early as next week.
Any predictions on the vote?
I'm not predicting. You should ask the people on both sides of that, but
Has your personal stance changed on this?
no, it's always been no, but I do believe that we should let the whole Senate body make that decision.
Mr. Leader, Governor this morning appointed Kathleen Blatz from
Yeah.
Justice Blatz as interim commissioner or chairman of the NSFA. There's been a lot of criticism here at the legislature over the NSFA. Any reaction to the appointment this morning?
Well, I think it's a good choice, but I'll also say that I think we'll continue to move the legislation forward that we're working on. We want to make sure there's accountability and that we're fully vetting that issue, but I think that's a good step.
Well, the other issue, the governor did sound off this morning. He took the opportunity to disagree with President Trump in particular on the transgender issues. There is a bill in the House. I haven't seen a Senate companion yet. What would be your interest in the state taking a stance on that?
Well, I think that it is a state issue, and so in that regard, turning it back to the states, I think is appropriate. I like the fact that our local schools have the opportunity to work through that issue the way they see fit. And I have a couple of, I have a number of schools that I represent. A couple of them have dealt with this issue. One was kind of forcing through this top-down, because they're afraid of losing funds, we have to do X. The other one, they were more conscious and more considerate of the individual, and so they were working with that person to find the best solution, rather than just say, we have to do it this way and that's how it's going to be done. And I think that's the best approach, that we watch and let our local schools figure this out. Every situation's different, and I think that's a better way to do it.
So no bill at the legislature at this point?
I don't know. I haven't offered anything. I'm not,
Your
you know.
preference, though, is you have some power.
I've always said I want to focus on the main things this year, which is the things we're all talking about: roads and bridges, taxes, bonding bill, budget, and solving the healthcare crisis. Nothing's off the table. All 34 senators here have the right to drop any bill they want, and we have to talk about how that would go through the process. But as the leader, I'm focused on those main things. And I like that our local schools have some flexibility in how they solve each individual issue.
On that issue,
Ricardo.
The governor expressed strong sentiment in support of transgender children and released the results of a Minnesota student survey that found that in the last year, more than half of transgender kids had attempted suicide compared to 1 in 5 of other students. What's your response to that, to the governor's sentiment on what he said we should be supporting transgender students?
Well, we absolutely should be compassionate towards any student, but if that is an issue that's increasing suicide rates, we should first and foremost be very compassionate, which is why I like, because I've seen a couple situations in my own district and how they navigated through the issue, I like that the local school can figure out how to best take care of the needs of that student. And so, but compassionate should be high up on all of our priorities as far as how we relate to people.
Is the president being compassionate on this, in your opinion?
I'll leave his style to himself. Everybody's different. We shouldn't be surprised. Most of the things he's done, he said he was going to do. But we all have different styles. His is different from mine, but in some of those we're trying to get to the same goal. And as far as state rights, letting the states decide, I think that's a reasonable direction. Yeah, thank you guys. Have a good day.